The worst thing about shooting a T-Rex to death is knowing the exact cost of ammunition expended on the target. Welcome back to Ark Survival Evolved. My name is Xaelfas, and this is Hardcore Harry. And this is a level 116 Spinosaurus. That's right, Fluffy needs a playmate. Emphasis on mate, because this is a male. Our would-be squishy, aka the Spino, took an extra hit when I knocked it out. And then a Dilo decided it wanted to have some fun and attack a target right next to it, hitting squishy and negating most of our taming effectiveness. So I went ahead and did it. I made the tough decision, and I went ahead and let our Spino wake back up. And in the meantime, I fed it a little narco before I decided to let it wake up all the way. Threw some stone up around it so that it'd be better blocked in. You can see it destroyed chunks of the thatch and did quite a bit of damage to the structures itself. But did manage to keep it inside so I didn't have to wait for the back and forth running to and from as the tow port rises. Now, this has already been rough. We'll see how it goes from here. But I'm going to go ahead and put a preserving bin and a few other things while I'm over here, just to make this a more efficient and not even efficient, just a more effective tame. I don't want to have to annihilate things from very far away to gather any prime meat or anything for the tame. I had that window right there to shoot him. But you know, it would have been more effective to have shot him again from the top, because as you can see, there's quite a bit of damage to a lot of the structures around the area that actually kept it in place. So moving forward, just working with the tame here, it's taking quite a while. So what I'm going to do here is build up a little bit around and add a preserving bin, probably a mortar and pestle, get some spark powder going, cook some meat out here. Pretty much set up shop for a little while I go back and forth gathering meat. Be right back, guys. So this is what it looks like to gather the prime meat necessary for a tame of this size. Now Fluffy can handle it just fine. She's very proficient at killing. Also, a bit of storage comes in handy when running around doing things. Look at all these eggs too. A couple of stego eggs, T-Rex egg, that's just awesome. Alright guys, and keep going back and forth. Be right back. Yeah, I know, that's not it. That was Fluffy. I know, not very far when you consider we've been here a while. Those two RG kibble right there, what we're going to use as well. Should help us out quite a bit. It's going to be 5 times, so, you know, we'll take what we can get. Just going to bring you guys back periodically if anything happens. Alright, see you shortly. So naturally, after we use our RG kibble and everything, a few dinos decided to run around the enclosure and attack the other smaller dinos that had been trapped back here. Very annoying. We are not going to reset this team again because we're this far into it and on our second try on the same dino. It would be better to get it at a lower level than it would be to accidentally kill it. But I thought I'd show you guys the carnage and the negative effect of things hitting your tames when they're down. Yep, plus 10 levels, and it'll be a little less than that when we're done, I'm sure. Yeah, just hauling bodies around, you know, much like my normal life. I mean, you know, my imaginary life. That's the one I meant. Yeah, I think, we'll be back after this. So we're almost there. 5 minutes for you, 5 hours for me. I don't know. Seems pretty reasonable if you really think about it. I like the Spinosaurus quite a bit, guys. I always have to give them ironic names. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Squishy has arrived. Also, when I found Squishy, I had no intention of taming. I was out running around looking for alphas to kill, things like that. When I saw the level on this, I knew it was time for Fluffy's companion to make an appearance. Well, there's that preserving bin we've been using. And yes, I kept the eggs in there. I like timers not going down at what would be an exponential rate otherwise. So I'm going to round up Fluffy, take Squishy, all my eggs, and all the extra things I crafted out here back to base while we can. I'm going to leave this enclosure here for the meantime. I'm sure eventually I'll clean up my messes made from tames, but it's kind of nice to have them as reminders. So Squishy and Fluffy made it back to base just fine, as expected. And I know this isn't a Titan, but both Bucky and the eager Beaver died recently, off camera. So rather than tame 2 beavers of low level, I've opted to go ahead and level up this higher level beaver. And until we need any others, I don't have any intention of getting another. But the survivability is going to be much higher on this than even 2 lower quality. Now, I know that this isn't exactly a Titan, guys, but, you know, I need some way to gather wood, and I figured I'd bring you back just to at least show you this tame before you're wondering what happened to the other 2, and where did the high-level beaver come from? Speaking of things that I don't always show you guys, I have a multitude of projects going on at the base and elsewhere on the map. Now, I'm not ready to reveal those in a video. What I think I would rather do is do a singular episode on all of the base events and things like that. And rather than showing you individual items, I would rather do large revelations or unveilings, if you would. Yep, and our beaver has arrived. But you know, I didn't get Gigi here for no apparent reason. There is one thing I'd like to unveil to you, even though we're doing a Titan episode today. And I think it's time that I create and unveil to you the forge. So here we are, and although it's not complete, because as of the moment it's a giant box, it will work for everything we need it to, and it has taken enough time behind the scenes just to throw this together that I felt like it was time to do a little bit of an unveiling. I have some ideas as to add aesthetics and things later, but aesthetics are secondary to necessities. And Ball and Chain managed to make it here just fine. Of course, we had full help this time instead of trying to run through crazy terrain with tons of enemies at 400 health. You can see I'm putting these forges to work too. Now, I'm dubbing this place the Ender Forge because my best little buddy in the world likes Minecraft quite a bit. And although I have never played it or done anything of that nature, I've been able to become much more familiar with it through far more youthful eyes. So if you weren't with us or if you don't recall, what happened to our last forge was a Giganotasaurus. So a little bit of wishful thinking here and that this will be the last forge that we need. We still have the hilltop, but it's so inconvenient to get to that I don't believe we'll be using it for anything going forward, unless we just find ourselves within the area. Going ahead and crafting up some things too. Clipped it a little bit there for you. Need a bed for a spawn point. If we die near this area, it'd be really convenient to be able to come here. In particular because all your higher points on the map are very good for parachuting to extreme distances. I may or may not already know that you can get effectively to the snow biome from here. And it's probably going to come in handy moving forward. Now, you can only hold so much metal at one time. But went ahead, got the forge in here, kept these, did I say forge? The fabricator built, a smithy. I've had a lot of this constructed, but nowhere to put it. And I really did not want to go this far out, but I have some long-term plans that will make this as convenient as could be. Now, there is one mountainside that is actually closer, and it's as far as the island's concerned, it's the far eastern north mountain on the map. It is just not very, it's not very safe for one. I went over there and scouted things out, and there were 4 Giganotaurus there. So not only is it hazardous though, but unfortunately the incline in it is just so steep that most dinos can't track it very well, if at all. And the main way up the side of the mountain is the primary spawn point where I came across the 4 Giganotaurus. And that's just ludicrous. There's no reason to have them piling up in one small area. So we opted for a less rich, but much more accessible location. Now, I'm going to get back to the tames. We've got 2 major tames that we have to get today. And that Giganotaurus was not just a tease, guys. So, anyway, building up quite a bit of things here. This is going to be where all our advanced building is done. Alright, guys. I'm going to head out and see what I can drum up. Be right back. Well, look what I found, guys. That is the coolest color I've seen on a Giga yet. And I think that we have what we need to tame it up. Be right back, guys. So I'm trying to get her attention. That mountain in the distance is the same mountain the forge is located on. There we go. That'll get her attention, right? Let's just hope she can't scale this side of the wall. I think we're okay. It only takes a few chomps for a Giga to kill a person, by the way. And we've already learned this the hard way. Now, I'm not sure how many arrows it's going to take, but we're going to do whatever we need to bring this thing down. It just looks too cool. This isn't ideal. Normally, I wouldn't bother taming a Giga unless it was a very high level, just because so much effort goes into them. But I haven't, like I said, I have never seen a color like this on one before. So we're just going to go ahead and take this rare beauty. Anyways, guys, I'm going to keep piling arrows into her. There's no risk of killing her. They have 300,000 life. And we'll be right back. So she should be coming down soon, guys. I've got about 100 arrows into her, not counting what I'm firing. Come on. And let's hope she doesn't drown, because they drown very quickly in water. And that is a waterfall right there. I think that, yeah, we're good. Unless there's water under the ground where she's laying. So, Gigas are hard to bring down. Primarily because you need a ravine or something like this to keep them from running away great distances. Like, she did try to run away a few times, and she ran straight into the other wall, and then she got snagged over here. So I was fortunate enough not to have to chase her around and then dodge her, because they're incredibly fast. Lame Sauce has no chance of getting away from her. Now, that's the first hard measure you deal with a Giga. The second is the Topor War. It's insane. I didn't cut away or anything like that, and yet you see that it has already dropped 6,000 Topor just in the time it took us to go down the edge of there, around there, to give her the narcotics. And I just start right off the bat giving them narcotics. Now it takes it longer to gain, so I feed them quite a bit, so that while it's gaining, we have time to move. You don't ever want to leave one of them at full and then walk and then run away to go gather or anything of that nature, because it's not going to help you. And it might recognize this right here from the beginning of the episode, and it's for good reason. Bullets cost quite a bit. Not individually, but you have to imagine that everything takes more than a bullet, except for your smallest adversaries. So your total cost ramps up over time. And these may not be the cheapest bullets, but bang for buck, they're pretty good. We'll definitely use more going forward now that we have the forge. Let's see how much prime we can get out of this Rex. So anyway, this is basically how I'm planning to tame the Giga. I'm gonna go around, gather some prime, and I'll be back when we're closer to having her tamed up, guys. So I'm not really worried about our taming effectiveness, being that it's such a low level tame, but I really don't like having raptors or anything like that around. So I'm always playing, I don't know, not mama bird, but the protector of the nest, so to speak, while taming. And I end up with a decent amount of idle time. And I've seen dilos and things completely clip through a dino and ruin tames, kill them because you can't hit them. You're gonna hit the taming dino as well. Sometimes I wish that while you were taming a dino, you couldn't kill it actually. And until you started feeding it the meat, it wasn't flagged that way. But, you know, maybe that's a bit too technical. It would be a good change because then you could actually kill things that were ruining your tame. Hopefully we won't need to give them any more narco, but hey, you know, these are kind of crazy. Someone cue the music for the final countdown. No, the actual song, the final countdown. Come on. Even I've seen the Hot Pockets commercial, and I don't even own a TV that is connected to any form of television service. 3, 2, 1. Daya! And yet the sheer size and immense power that the Giganotasaurus possesses means that some factions endeavor to tame it as a fear-inducing capital beast of war, even at great risk. Alright guys, gonna take her back to base and let her defend herself on the way there. Be right back. So, without any surprise, she led us back to base. I figured I'd show you the problem with trying to put a saddle on her, other than the fact that she might eat us. We need to level up some. Leveling at this point takes quite a while, so it'll be some time before you see us mounting her. I hopefully won't say that too many times in a week. But when we can, guys, we'll take her out for a joyride. Until then, she's going to sit here and look pretty. She needs a good name, though. I think it's going to be the Red Death. Yes, that will be her name. Red Death. And it's getting too dark. I'll be back on the next venture, guys. So yay, great, we tamed a Giga. Ended the episode, right? No, we're taming Titans today. And look who decided to reveal herself to me. I know. It seems to always be a female first, doesn't it? At least for the majority, anyway. We need to get in a spot where she can't reach us, but we can reach her. Also, these Argentavis up here are a bit of a problem. Oh well, this seems like it'll work. Be right back, guys. Seamless transition. And suddenly, I'm several bullets shy. She's almost down, guys. So we're going to get her down. And then after that, I need to make a run for base. I had no intention of taming. I was out here on a separate project, as I usually am whenever I start taming. You never know when you're going to find something worth getting, especially an arc. So I'm going to cut away. I'm going to run back to base and gather supplies. This time, I'm going to do a faster version. By that I mean 2 times speed, to show you exactly what it takes for me to get to and from base to the forge. Keep in mind, it's accelerated. Be right back. I went ahead and I made another cooking pot, and I made kibble faster than I ever have. And I was so worried about running out of time and this tame waking up. When I remembered we've been doing Gigas and Spinos, it doesn't wake up nearly as quickly if you tame a T-Rex. So you have a few advantages here. Now you still have to give him Narc and everything else, but you have time to regather yourself if you need to. Now if you're flying, obviously you have time to do all kinds of things, but the real challenge here is not taking advantage of that. Now we have accelerated our tame speeds. Basically we've accelerated everything that is directly tied to off-camera work, and to also cut into the tedium of things. We're at that point where everything is less of a challenge and it just becomes more of a time-consuming issue. I've also turned up the rot timers on everything, so even things that you want to go bad will take a while longer as well, but I'll work with it the best I can. Gonna gather up some meat just in case, because although I brought plenty of kibble, you never want to just throw all your kibble on it and then lose all of your tame, because the longer you keep them knocked out, the hungrier they get. So in case she needs more than that, I don't want to have it all go to waste. I did put a lot of effort into this. So if you're wondering why I'm using arrows, arrows are cheaper. And I don't have to spend very much effort to craft them. So often you'll see me keep crossbows handy so that if it's a less priority target or just an easy target, I'll use arrows just for the simple kill. Not to say I won't waste some ammo here or there, but it's not very effective for me to, you know, shoot dilos with grenade or throw grenades at them or shoot them with the grenade launcher or anything, which yes, I know we don't have those things yet. I do have a few grenades stashed away. I've picked them up off of things. I haven't crafted any. When we do go to use some grenades, it'll be en masse, I'm sure. I don't like to play with things unless I have enough of them to have some good fun. Let's check on our little lady up here. Scaling the mountain. Alright, now the moment of truth. Yeah, that kibble's working hard. That's great. Alright, it does look like it's still going to be a little bit of a time. So, let's see what we got here. I think we might just have enough to finish her off with kibble alone, guys. Alright, anyways, I'm going to let this all run its course. And I think I'll bring you back whenever she's up and ready to go. This will be our final tame for the episode, though. That's for sure. You know, we're going to need a saddle for this little lady, too. Luckily, we saved some Ingrams here or there for whenever we need them. It's best not to drain your Ingram count, guys, if you do play the game. Yeah, that would be a bad idea. So not technically a Tyrannosaurus Rex, but that's what we're going to call it anyway. Left it on here a little bit longer if you'd like to read it. They're, even though they're not the toughest dino out there anymore, they're awesome. Also, the dossier right there, the little list for each dino, does not actually give you credit for everything unless you're within the vicinity of it whenever it rises, if it's a tamed one. So, oh, look, we're starving to death. There we go. So Rexana here is more or less going to be replacing lame sauce, because with the advent of the beaver dams that I've been starting to find here and there, and just the fact that I've been collecting quite a bit of cementing paste over time, we don't really need to take lame sauce everywhere. It was a convenient side project that whenever I'd seed bugs, I'd go ahead and eat them with lame sauce and get some cementing paste for crafting, just as a trait that the frogs themselves have. But we're now getting to the point where we want something powerful so that if we see an alpha or we see something else, we don't need to hoard ammunition or anything, or go and make a ton of arrows and spend 30 minutes shooting them. We can actually use something that can get up to decent speeds as well as be aggressive whenever necessary. Not to be too technical, but you know, she's going to serve a real purpose. Also, we'll probably end up with a army, if you will, of Rexes at some point, because I need a male, obviously, now, but breeding is a thing in this game, and I will probably try to breed Rexes in particular, because they get to be pretty useful in groups. Although they don't have a pack mentality or any kind of bonus in being a pack, they're just very efficient killers. Now the catch is you have to level them all up, and if you want them to be, you know, high in damage, then you can't raise their speed. You know, there's always trade-offs. And you know, wouldn't you know it, of all the things that we need fiber. It's the thing that you always need and not very often have enough of handy whenever you do need it. But do you remember when we were picking 1 to 2 fiber at a time off of each plant back at La Cabine? Yeah, times have changed, guys. And this isn't just from rates either. This tool is one of the most useful in the game, by far. I wanted to take this time to tell you guys thank you for your support. Every like, share, every subscription to the series, every comment that I've had is really appreciated. And if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe for future content. I will continuously over time update this channel. I do not have any intention to abandon it anytime soon. And it's quite a pleasure both to play and do a bit of creation with the series. Please let me know your thoughts below in the comments. Thank you, and have fun, y'all.